Some very encouraging news in the story of a paralyzed hockey player from Minnesota. Jackson Drum, injured last month during a game in Vancouver, has begun to make small movements that his doctors initially thought would be impossible. Fox 9's Rob Olson is following his story, and Rob, Jackson is now at a specialty center in Atlanta.
Yes, and his flight to Atlanta made possible by the generosity of donors on the family's Give, Send, Go campaign, so they thank everybody there. It's impossible to say what more progress he will make, but what has happened already was not thought possible just weeks ago.
Feels like it's been a lifetime.
3.5 weeks after his life-changing injury, Jackson Drum's family is astounded.
And Jackson was holding on to hope, and it turned out he was right.
They'd been told his spinal cord injury was so severe he'd likely never again breathe on his own, remain a full quadriplegic for life. And already, that has changed.
He started wiggling his shoulders, and then just this past few days, he started wiggling a few fingers on his left hand.
This is Jackson moving his own leg just a week ago. He can feel some touch, and he's able to breathe without his ventilator for about an hour each day.
It was not expected that that was ever going to happen.
Yeah. They said, the doctors told my sister and brother-in-law that they should expect a complete spinal cord injury, meaning no control, no sensation below the neck.
Jackson had just scored a goal in this game at a tournament in Vancouver in late January. A few minutes later, a bad hit into the boards changed everything. The 17-year-old from the Alexandria area, playing hockey at Coeur d'Alene Academy in Idaho, spent 2 weeks at a hospital in Vancouver where he shocked his doctors.
The doctors are very surprised.
His father, Jason, said Jackson labeled himself the miracle boy after hearing his doctors react.
They just said it was a miracle themselves, their own words.
Last week, Jackson was flown to the Shepherd Center in Atlanta, which specializes in spinal cord injuries. A $50,000 flight, only possible because of the outpouring on the family's fundraising campaign. The feeling he's recovered may be little things.
Imagine how different your life is if you can feel a hug.
But really, those are enormous.
He's telling my sister he's going to walk.
He's got a lot of determination, according to his family. Jackson will remain in Atlanta for at least a few months. The family will meet with his medical team, in fact, tomorrow to plan out what all the care plan is here, the next steps. There is another fundraiser planned for April in Alexandria because of the financial burden of his care, and the eventual return back home in Minnesota is enormous, but his hopes remain high. Rob Olson, Fox 9.
All right, thank you, Rob.